Hello, and welcome to the For Her Empire podcast. I'm your host, Abby Maucha, and in this podcast, we address the personal and the business issues that female entrepreneurs face in their day to day lives. So, my guest today is Tanya J. Hi, Tanya.
Hey Abby, hey for her empire. How y'all doing today?
I'm good. So, Tanya is an author, she's also a speaker and a coach. And today, we're talking about Mind Matters, which is also a book of hers about how to get unstuck.
Mhm.
So, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Sure. Well, again, thank you, Abby, for having me. Definitely excited to talk today. As you mentioned, what she said, but ultimately, my heart, my goal, and passion is always to help people and organizations to figure out how to fit the puzzle pieces of life together so that they can do life right and well. And I do that because I believe every person, every organization, every business has the opportunity to be able to do life and leadership unapologetically on purpose. And so that's why I do what I do, because I believe everybody has a purpose and assignment, and you ought to be able to be free, comfortable, and bold and brave enough to be able to do it unapologetically as well.
So, what inspired the book Mind Matters and like the title Mind Matters? What inspired that also?
Well, one, just the title itself, because a lot of times we put everybody else in front of us. We put everybody else's concerns, thinking that they matter more than us. When the reality is, we got to be good ourselves, but not just good, like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay, but like really be good in our mind, in our head, in our mental state of being. And so it's just a reminder that, hey, your mind matters, your mental state of being matters. So that's definitely kind of where the title came from. And, just the subtitle of the book, Getting Out of Your Head, Jumping Back into Life, is because sometimes we get so stuck in our own head, aka in our own way, that we forget about leading and living the life that we're supposed to. We literally just become paralyzed and stuck sometimes because it may seem too overwhelming. It may seem too difficult to get out of the situation we're in. It may just seem like it's too much life happening and it's easier to stay in our head. And so that kind of is where that topic, the title and the subtitle, came from. And then the journal, which is the Mind Matters Get Your Mind Right journal, it's literally saying that, like, I want you to get your mind right. So look, I'm going to give you those hard questions, those things that you don't want to work on, say, talk about. I'm going to ask you those because I want you to get your mind right. I want you to do the work so that you don't the place that you're in, but that you can get back going forward on purpose. And so that's kind of where the titles came from. But just the book itself, it's not an autobiography or anything like that, but it is me actually giving you some of what I learned myself when I was really in a difficult time, a difficult space, several years back, literally just faced with anything that you can imagine. I was faced with, uh, unemployment and layoffs, not just myself, but between me and my husband. We were in the last recession, and this area that we lived in at the time and stayed in and stuff was hit extremely hard. It did not recover anywhere near how the rest of the country had and was recovering. I was hit with racism on the job. I was hit with, um, you know, physical and health issues, like not just one, but several, and they became debilitating. I was just hit in a lot of areas, finances, family, marriage, the whole nine. And so I said I wanted to, I literally fought my way back. I learned what to do, and I got help. That's for one. And then as I was doing that, I got back to doing something I loved, which was writing. And I just was writing, honestly. I didn't expect this to be a book or a journal. Like, I was just writing it kind of like just as notes or something, or to myself. I didn't expect it to be anything, because literally the book was published like 5 years after I just jotted this all down on my cell phone. And it ended up being a book later because I felt that I felt like I got that tap on the shoulder to just say, hey, you wrote a book, pull that out, add a journal to it, and go on and start your business and publish it, and let it be you step, let it be. Oh, hold on.
What happened to your
Let that
voice?
I know. Let that be the thing that literally pushes you out and allows you to bet on yourself in all areas. So that's what happened. That's kind of where it came from.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you're also a coach, and so when someone who's sort of like stuck in their head and things are sort of not going well, at least physically around you, I know people keep on saying mindset matters, but like, does that really matter if like your surroundings is crap? Like, I can change my mindset, but like, I'm just gonna see crap anyway.
I mean, so that's honestly even why I did not say mindset. I just said your mind matters because you have to make sure it's not about the mindset. It's more or less about caring for your mind, your mental state of being, and making sure you're okay, checking in with, a therapist or counselor, going into a support group. Like that's what I'm more or less on, like your mental state, your mind matters, how you're thinking matters, you're feeling about yourself, how you're feeling about the situation. So it's not necessarily the mindset and like, you know, speaking it a certain way, but it's honestly just beginning to see it a certain way and know that you can fight for a better path and a better future. And part of that, like you said, if everything around you is going crap, part of that is just honestly dealing with it, like dealing with what's going on around you, not hiding from it, not, faking it, but really dealing with it and processing it, because a lot of times people say, oh, I'm just going to think it better, but you're not processing what you're going through and what's literally dealing with you. And so that's a lot of what I talk about and where I'm coming from. Like process this thing. Like, yes, it's hard. Own that. You know what I'm saying? Don't just try and, you know, oh, it's not that bad, and pretend. Like that's the kind of the
Uh,
difference in when people talk about mindset. They think, oh, well, I just have to, fake it till I make it or pretend. And I'm more
it's
or
all
less
going to
trying
be
to tell you,
fine.
like, yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's fine if you feel that way, but you need to process what you're feeling too at the same time.
Yeah. So let's say I'm having I guess confidence issues, or maybe I'm struggling with something and I'm trying to process it.
Hmm.
So as a coach, how do you help me like walk through all of this and process all of this?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, you said if you're struggling with something or anything like that, honestly, I may even ask you, okay, well, what is it that you're struggling with?
Okay.
And do you feel like it's happening for a reason? Do you feel like it's, something that's coming on the heels of something else? Like literally it's even just digging into the who, what, where, and why. Not to say it's to blame you or anything like that, but it's literally to hear how you have assessed what's happening in your head, like how you're seeing it, how you're feeling about it, how you're thinking about it. Because, like you said, I can say everything and more, but if that isn't how you feel it or see it or think it, me talking is just me talking. Like we need to kind of dig into how you, what it is that you're feeling about it and kind of why, because that's how you begin to dig into, some of that work and begin to process it. Because a lot of times, you know, we and that's why I said it's not to blame you, but I may be saying don't blame you, but you may be blaming yourself. You may be feeling like it's a result of you doing something or something happening or anything like that. And if I never find that out, or if you never just be truthful about that, we can begin to do some of the work to go forward. And so that's kind of, like I said, what we were kind of even just first kind of hear your heart on it, hear your thoughts on it, hear, okay, but why? And so that I know my people say I ask them why a lot because sometimes some of the questions I ask are the first time you've answered them for yourself.
Okay.
So
Oh, so you keep like, asking them why this. You answer why. You answer why. Oh my god. People are
I
not annoyed
mean,
by
not
that.
back to back, not back to back, but there's a reason. Like sometimes you have to keep asking those questions until you actually get the true answer. Like you can definitely sugarcoat stuff. You can definitely gloss over stuff. You can definitely, not be real in a coaching session, and that's wasting not just your time but your money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so let's get to the real behind it. Let's get to it. And so if it I'm gonna be honest, if I don't feel like we're getting to the real answer and you're kind of still just, oh well yeah, like okay, okay, but what else? Like because
Oh.
it's not
So
gonna
you
get
can
to the real
tell.
work.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
tell when
yeah.
they're not like giving you the actual answer. They're trying to like gloss stuff over. They're
Yeah,
like, you're
discernment is
joking. You're
good.
joking.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so like now after they've sort of like said what's happening and why it's happening, so like what's the next step after that?
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like if it's deeply layered and level for integrity and ethical state, I may even suggest we put a pin in things and you may need to go do some deeper work and deeper look back at things and work with a therapist or counselor or
Okay.
even a psychiatrist because that would be unethical for me to go that far back and that's not what I'm necessarily licensed ethically to do. So
Okay.
I would definitely, even if I feel that or if it gets to that point where it's that deep, I would suggest that. And that maybe once you kind of did some of that deeper work and that work from really far back in your past, then we can come back and start using what you got out of that to help you to move forward. But if it's not, that deep or it's not kind of going into the need of a therapist or counselor, psychiatrist, as a life coach, then we would kind of go from there to figure out what can I do as your coach to come alongside you, to support you, and to help you navigate to help you to, get a strategy or roadmap for where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do, even if it's coming out of that, like you said, that time or that situation of you, not in the best mental state. So yeah, I would come alongside you. I would partner with you. We would strategize. We would work through what is necessary and needed to go forward and be with you through that process if it's a few sessions or if it's just kind of checkups kind of it just kind of depends on the type of package that you work with me on but um ultimately we'll be working towards a goal or something specific and we'll be doing that and so as a coach a lot of times you can see more than the person that's just looking at what's in front of them. You're kind of seeing the whole game being played. You're kind of seeing, what the competition may be expecting to do next or vice versa. And so with that, I ought to be able to come up with both a defense and an offense to help you with where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do next.
Okay. And this roadmap, is it like a long-term roadmap or like a short-term roadmap? Like let's say in 3 months, this is what you do, or like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, like very long.
It just kind of depends on, what we're working on. Like, let's say, for instance, and then honestly it'll depend upon the type of coaching that you get. If you're just doing it for one day you might just need to be helped to get a look at what you're doing right now, what's going on, and just just a reset. And that may just be us kind of going over overarching things and kind of helping you to be able to place indicators or to be able to kind of see things. And we just do that in that one session, and you use that tool or that information to help you just going forward, period, no matter the time period. Or if it's something specific, like you want to be able to do XYZ, by this and this time, then yeah, we may have a time date stamp on it, if you will, or a time period. But ultimately, it's really just kind of going to depend on what it is we're working on, and what we'll be trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
If and honestly, it's about what you can do and what you can achieve. Like, I would hate for you to put, or me to put, a time period on you
Mm-hmm.
that you don't feel you can commit to, or you feel like it's so much of a tight schedule that you have to do this, and it's not. It's You're feeling overwhelmed. So it
Okay.
kind of just depends on what we're doing, where you're at, what you can commit to, and kind of just to make sure you're not overwhelming yourself as well.
Okay. So if I'm struggling with some mental issues, let's say confidence. That's a lot of things. Lots of women struggle with that confidence, whether it's in ourselves or maybe in our business idea, and then we cannot really talk about what we are doing because you sort of feel like someone else is
Hmm.
doing better, or your idea doesn't sound so good. Yeah, that happens. You just feel like your idea doesn't
Uh-huh.
sound good enough.
Yeah.
So like, what
Yeah.
do I do? Like, let's do like a scenario right now. What do I do?
I mean, first of all, I talk about this a lot on the vlog as well. Just like, there's always going to be somebody that does it better, or that at the time that does it best. And so you will always feel insignificant, insecure,
Okay,
and
that's not very positive of you to tell me. Like, seriously, should
yeah,
you tell me
you
that?
always feel that way, if you're looking at how somebody else is doing it. What you
Oh,
have to know is that you have been assigned, gifted to do what you do the way that you're to do it, because the people that will buy what you have, or support you, or come into agreement with you with services, they're coming to you because there's something about you that they connect with, they resonate with, that they feel that connection to. And so it doesn't matter if it's 50 or if it's 5,000, those people are assigned to you. It doesn't matter if somebody else is doing the very same thing that you're doing. Guess what? Who's supposed to work with you or buy from you or whatever is going to come. And so
okay.
you can't look at how anybody else is running that race. Their race is their race. That's why they're in their lane, and you got to be in your own lane. And
Stick to
so
your
a
lane.
lot of that, what I would be, a lot of what I would even be talking to them about is just that in itself. There's no comparison because there is no competition. The only person, as my mom would say, beat you being you is you. She would say that all the time. Can't nobody beat you being you but you. And so that's it. There's no reason to look at how anybody else is doing things, how you can look at how successful they are and applaud them or clap them on, but there's no reason to look at how successful they are and feel that it's a slight against you, and that you're not doing well enough, or you're not successful enough, because you don't know, honestly, you really don't know what all they may be sacrificing. You don't know what all they may be going through. You don't know how long they've even been at what they're going after. You
Yeah.
just see the glory, but you do not know anything about the true story of how it all happened. And so, no, we would definitely talk on those veins and work through that if it's necessary for one
That comparison.
session or a couple to just, yeah, because it's no need, when you get that mindset, that understanding, and that mentality of that, you will know that your confidence is yours alone, and it's not anything that anybody can take from you.
It sounds easy to say that your confidence is yours and yours alone. It sounds very easy to say that, but like, if you had low self confidence, like, how do you get to that point where you're like, my confidence is mine and mine alone?
like I said, it's breaking through that, it's breaking through those feelings of why you feel insignificant. It's breaking through what you're looking at, because if you're staying on social media and looking at everybody else's stuff and all of that, yeah, you really gonna be messed up. Like, yeah, like get up off social media and stop looking at how they done curated they page so pretty, and every picture
Yeah.
look the best, and every product just always blows up. No, no, mm-mm. Get away. Get away and work on
Oh.
your own stuff. Get away and do some of the stuff that you need to do. And so, yeah, like it literally is just kind of really, like I said, I always, from the very beginning, is listen to where your head is at and where your heart is at, because that's going to explain everything. And so,
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of times, the confidence that you're fighting isn't from you directly. It's from what you think of yourself because of others, because of
Oh, okay.
circumstances, because of situations. And so we got to get to that. Like I said, I'm like, okay, but why do you feel that way about yourself? Why do you think you're not capable? Why? What is it about your business? And if there's some work that needs to be done, well, this person has this, and I'm like, okay. Well, then do you need to go sign up for a class? Do you need to get some outsourcing? That's where the
Oh.
practicality comes in, and we'll even roadmap or strategize on that.
Oh, okay,
But if
okay,
it's just
okay.
all you talking to me about, well, they this and they that. And I'm like, they are they for a reason. They're not you.
They are they. They are
Okay?
not you.
Like, so yeah, like we got to work through all of that. And then when we really get down to why you're feeling not good enough, why you're feeling that, you don't think you have what it takes, that's when we can really get to what you feel you may need to work on and do or
Hmm.
whatever. And we can work through that too.
Mm. How as a coach, I've been doing this for a while. Have people always willing to open up this much, or it takes some like needling to like get them to like say the actual reason behind this?
It just honestly depends. One thing I would say about just that question in general is the fact that that's why I have what I call a purpose call. Other people call it discovery calls or consultations, but that's why I have that first initial conversation. Because if you're not at all going to feel comfortable with our relationship, if you're not going to feel comfortable with taking my feedback and my coaching, if you're not going to be willing to do the work, if you're not going to be willing to open up for whatever the reasons may be, we're not a fit, then that's going to be squashed in the beginning. Because, like I said, it's a mutual thing. It's not just about you wanting to work with me. It's also about me making sure I can work with you and I
Okay.
can help you, and that I'm going to be able to, deliver whatever we discuss. And so if at all it's a possibility that that won't happen, then I'm going to probably refer you to someone else, because I don't want to waste your money. I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to not be one that can deliver for whatever the reason is. And so we're gonna hash that out in the beginning, because that's just like having somebody assign you a mentor that knows nothing about you and isn't able to understand from where you're coming from, and they
Oh,
just talk about where they're at and what they got going on, but can never relate to you with what you need and provide.
okay.
That's not a good mentor. And that's why
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
always,
yeah.
about it has to be mutual agreement, not just one or the other. And it's the same for me when it comes to life coaching. Like it has to be mutual. And
Yeah.
so if it's not, then it's not a good fit. And there's no shade, there's no harm, there's no foul. Like it is what it is. So that's to answer you the first part of that question. But honestly, everybody isn't an open book,
Yeah.
but you ought to be able to have the ability to get past all of that anxiety, fear, or whatever, and we'd be able to do the real work. Because why else would you come to someone, pay someone, spend your time, and not get what you need out of the situation? Like, that's just not doable. And so yeah, it may be a hard topic, but that's why you ask for help, right? Like you
Yeah.
asked for help, you paid somebody for help to help you. And so if you're still going to fight the process or you're still not going to feel comfortable, then maybe I'm just not the right fit for you.
Mm.
And I want you to find that right fit.
Yeah. And the roadmap, are you making it for them or they are making it with your input? Like are there like assignments involved or like you have to do this?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there'll be assignments involved, our homework, if you will, and then there'll just be, exercises or conversations during the session. It just kind of really depends on what you're working on. But, as far as the roadmap, it, it can be literal or it can just be things that we know we're working on, and it's like topics. It just really depends on what it is for the actual roadmap, but it may be us us working through different things and giving a highlight of each session, or giving just homework assignments or something like that, and be prepared to discuss this or that. It just really depends on what we're working on. Like if it's for your business, then it might be because you might, like you said, you might have a timeline that you want to be doing things. Like if you're wanting to write your first book and you want, just coaching around writing your book and getting over those fears and, helping assistance with it from a coaching aspect, then yeah, it might be a roadmap. Like it might be, okay, you know, come up with, what the plot is, or come up with the topic. And then it may be, okay, well, write 3 chapters tonight or something like that. It just
Okay.
kind of depends on what we're working on.
Okay, okay. And I know you have a book things your mom said.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like every quote she said they're like parts about your about nobody's gonna defeat you at being you and then you
Mhm.
that's a quote like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually one of the popular ones. Can't nobody beat you being you, and that's one of the ones I talk about in the book, Things My Mama Said. And basically, it's 20 sayings, 20 stories behind some of those sayings, but
Oh,
then it's
okay.
the life lessons that we learned along the way. So that's kind of how it flows. It flows with kind of telling you what the saying is, and then a story behind when she
Story
said a
behind it.
saying like
Oh.
that, and then it goes into the life lesson that we're now able to
Oh.
apply, live, do, or vice versa. And so, yeah, I
Mm.
did a book for that, and then I did a prayer journal as
Oh.
well for that particular project. Yeah, it's I did it where I uh, first got permission from my mama to make sure she was cool with it, and second, we just got with my siblings and my cousin who basically grew up with us because her mom was a single mom, and she worked all the time, so she was with us a lot, and so I got
Okay.
with them to just get their remembrance of some things and then stories that they wanted to share or remember,
Oh.
and then put it all together. But
I have a question.
there's, it's been, oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. Uh, for any of these 20 stories, but there like some ass whooping attached to it.
I mean, yeah, there's some whoopings that were involved. Hey, I don't fake it or anything like that. My parents believe you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So yeah, there were spankings or whoopings or whatever you wanted to call it, or punishment involved in it. But yeah, I mean it got so much just happiness, not just from the people that bought it and the readers, but just my family. And so I'm actually working on volume 2 that'll
Ooh.
extend past my mom, but some of my aunts, my granny, my sister, and then just some other women that just had, a significant role in my life and some of the things that they said. And so volume 2, I'm working on to hopefully come out maybe next year, if not the year
Oh,
after
okay,
that.
okay.
So yeah, it's definitely been something everybody has really enjoyed because like I'm basically able to leave a legacy or a piece of my family here because of course some of those things didn't just start with my mom. She got them from her mother and her aunts and her grandmother and stuff like that. So, it's been able to for them to see, a piece of them out published and that our legacy continues. So
So are there like stories out of the 20 that I guess they're embarrassed about? Come on, tell us, tell. Any embarrassing stories out of the 20?
well, I mean, that's why I got permission from everybody at
Ah, come
first, and I
on.
wanted, or at least the siblings. But yeah, like there's one because Mother's Day, I did like a full on week with my mom. I normally don't even record my talking with Tanya's with anybody because they're normally like 7, 8 minutes or less. But I did them for the full week leading to Mother's Day with my mom, and so she was a part of them. Then we did a special like live that Sunday before, and then I released a extended kind of conversation with her the following Sunday on Mother's Day. But yeah, so you actually for the first time meet my mom Mother's Day in the week leading to it and hear from her about the book and everything and the project. But yeah, like there's one in particular because she didn't say she didn't say our names either when she was talking, and I necessarily didn't either. But there's one particular thing that she was always say was um don't wait on me to get ready. You just get ready. In a sense, that's what she was saying. And so that's not the particular quote, but that's basically what she was saying. And the
Okay.
reason that would be is because basically uh my mom, I feel like she was in stealth mode. Like you didn't even you like you would literally look up and she'd come in there Saturday morning and be like, make sure you clean up or whatever and be ready because because when I say I'm gone, I'm gone. And so Saturday morning back in the 90s and 80s was Saturday morning cartoons. Like we didn't have no cartoons 24/7 like they have now. Like cartoons only
Oh.
came on certain days and at certain times. And so, you be in there trying to watch your cartoons and haven't cleaned up, haven't gotten dressed. And next thing you know, you hear the garage door opening and she backing out and she leaving and gone. And you're like, wait, hold on. I swear she
Wait!
just came in here and said get ready. And so like literally that's one of the
Did you
sayings,
guys
like
stay
don't
and
wait on me
go?
to get ready, just get ready. And so but for whatever reason, there was this particular one sibling. I'm not gonna name no names, but he will always get left. Always. And I'm not talking about just get left like she leaving, she gone. Like no, he would hear the garage door, take off running to his room, try and go get his clothes. He would be running down the street behind my mama with his clothes in
Oh
his hand, just everything. Barely locked the door,
god.
barely let the garage door down, and you try to go catch my baba because you don't want to get left at home all day.
Oh my
But
god.
she told you to get dressed, like,
Oh
and
my god.
so
Yeah, but why would you leave me, dude?
because she told you to get dressed. And so, yes, that sounds harsh and mean, but the reality and the story and the lesson that I talk about in that is one, you can't expect people to wait on you in life. You can't expect that your needs are bigger than their own. And
Yes.
that's one thing. And then something else that I brought up in that is just the fact that, you know, when a person gives you the respect to tell you, hey, this is coming, and you still choose not to do something about it, you can't blame them. That's on
Yes,
you.
yes,
And then
yes.
just another life lesson in that in itself is just that why wait to the last minute? Why procrastinate in life? You know what's coming, you know what's ahead of you. Why would you wait when you know that people are dependent upon you? People need things from you. You have to show up, but yet
Oh,
you don't do it to the last minute. And so it's just layers of life lessons that in those
yeah.
examples
That
that
makes
we
sense now.
were able to ascertain and pull together.
Oh, okay. You explained all of that. It made sense. I was like, oh my gosh, she left him behind. What
Yep.
dude? So what if I just stay indoors and wait till you come back then? Will she get angry?
No, no, she's not gonna get angry. No, you don't know how. Because I mean, and back then, did we have cell phones? I'm trying to remember. Like even if we did, like yeah, we had cell phones, but like it wasn't like a lot. Like how we have all unlimited and all that now, and how
Yeah.
technology is and stuff. So yeah, yo, she's not gonna be mad at you. No, you just gonna probably you gonna be mad at yourself because you done been at home all day and she gonna come back when she come back. Like you don't know if she got errands to do. She trying to go meet up with my daddy. She got other stuff that she going on, or whatever. And so like that's also as well a life lesson. Like whatever you
Sorry
decide to
about
do,
the
you got
noise
to accept the
outside.
consequences. Oh no, you're fine. Whatever you decide to do, you have to accept the consequences that come with it. So if that means you get left all day and mom don't come back home to 8 o'clock,
Ooh.
hey, that was your decision that you made. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And so
Oh,
yeah.
okay, 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 okay. Yeah, like you have to like accept the consequences of your action because she did warn you before. Okay, okay, okay. I get it now. Yeah. So
Hmm.
you had mentioned that a few years back in the middle of a recession you had some health issues, some mental issues, and then you had gotten a therapist and you sort of like walked through your issues. But I don't was it quite as easy as that, or like getting a therapist and walking through your issues, or were there other like roadblocks that were stopping you?
I mean, it was definitely hard. I and I'm not a person that doesn't believe in therapy or anything like that, but I think it was a lot of things. I think it was, honestly, and I know a lot of people can relate to this, especially now. Like sometimes you don't feel like you have the time to work on yourself because you have so many other things that you have to do, so many other people dependent upon you. And what happens if you break down? Like, how is everything going to still keep going and flowing?
Oh,
And so they may not necessarily be the truth of it, but that's sometimes how you
how you
feel
feel?
about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so it's like, I can't, go work on myself right now because I don't have the time to take off, or I don't have the money, or I don't have insurance, or I don't have the ability to break down, because what happens if I break down? Who's going to keep taking care of everything? Because I feel like I have to take care of everything right now. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of what you have to work through to be able to take that time and take that moment for you. And you matter as well, if not most. And so that was a lot of it. Money, finances, insurance, not feeling like I had time to be able to do it. All of that were some things that were happening. And then, just as well, like, you know, kind of just not even wanting to address some of it, because if I addressed it, that means it would be real. Like if I started actually talking about it, that means it would be actually real what's happening. And maybe I don't want to own what's really going on. And
Yes.
so, and then like for some of the health issues, like some of them were even not just painful and chronic, but they were hard to deal with because they meant some harsh realities or decisions that I would have to make, as well. And so a lot of times when you're not ready to do something, face it or conquer it, you keep holding off on it, thinking that if you give it some more time, then maybe things may change.
Yeah,
But
or to disappear.
sometimes that's not the case. So yeah, so it was a lot, of those things. But at the same time, me holding off and waiting, a lot of it was also making things worse as well. And so I just had to kind of get to that realization that if I don't work on me, who else will? If I don't get the help, whether mental or the physical things that I was dealing with, then I'm holding off in itself the inevitable. And so I really just had to face the giants that were in front of me and deal with whatever was going to happen after the fact.
Okay. Okay. And as we're wrapping up, I have like two questions. So
Mhm.
what you're a coach, so what kind of people do you think you can best help? So what kind of people do you serve?
I get that question a lot. I don't necessarily feel that I have an ideal client
Oh,
in a
okay.
sense of age or race or any gender. It's more or less if you need help with, you know, a lot of times, a lot of clients I get, they come to me like trying to figure out what their purpose is or how can they start living their purpose, how can they execute their purpose with a vision, or just, and with purpose that tackles a lot of things like you said, confidence. It deals with you know mindset, mentality. It deals with framework, different things like that. But I do get a lot of clients that relate to that. But ultimately, you know, when you research me, you'll know that I work with individuals on life and on leadership. You'll know that I work with individuals as it relates to purpose, their passion, vision, or destiny. You know that I work with people and organizations around trying to figure out how to figure out putting the puzzle pieces together. So when you see all of that, if there's something about who I am, what I represent, and what I do that resonates, then you're going to be a client that wants to reach out, and or a person that wants to reach out and become a client. So
Yeah.
it's not a lot of times an age or anything like that.
Mm,
It's just what is it that you may need at this point in time in your life or business that I can help work with you and come alongside you along the way.
okay. And then you had mentioned a discovery call to see if I can actually solve your problem, if we're a good fit. So how can let's say how can I work with you? How can I get that discovery call to see if I can actually
Mhm.
work with you?
Yeah, it's on my website, TanyaJMiller.com. There's a page called coaching. And so that's where you can find out about the coaching, some of the packages, and you can sign up. There's actually contact, a sign up on that page
Okay.
to sign up and schedule your purpose call with me.
Okay. So Tanya J Miller, that's come.
Yes, ma'am. On the
Okay.
coaching
I'm going to
page.
put the website when I'm making the video. I'm gonna put the website there. Yeah. Is there anyone else when they can reach you on social media if you're on social media?
Yes, yes. On Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, you'll find me under Talking with Tanya. So
Talking with
I'm
Tanya.
there every
Okay.
day providing motivation, inspiration, and encouragement for wherever you're at.
Okay. Let me follow you right now. Wait, just my phone. Oh, here it is. Let me see. Instagram talking with Tanya.
Yes,
Talk,
ma'am.
talking with. Found you. Da 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 da. Da da. Oh, can you see it? Probably not. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I found you.
I do. I do. I will follow you right back as soon as we're over.
Oh, I can see what. I like your head wrap, the black one. I,
Thank you.
is there any question you wish I had asked or anything you want to talk about before we wrap up?
No, that's it. Definitely, like I said, appreciate the opportunity. If there's anything, listeners or viewers from YouTube that you guys feel that you want to ask me or, even Abby about our conversation, feel free to show Abby some love, following her, give her a rating, review, all of that, and ask those questions so that, hey, we mess around and need a part two to this, or at least we can both give
Yes,
you
yes,
what you
yes.
need and what you're looking for. Because, like you said, you're about helping not just the personal lives of women, but their
Yeah.
business as well. And
Yes,
so,
yes.
whatever either of you can do to help them, that is our passion and goal. So, thank you, ma'am.
Woo! Thank you. Yeah, so if you guys want a part two, just comment or let me know. This will be on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as on different podcast stations. So you can comment anywhere, and I'll definitely say it anyway. It's nice talking to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I enjoyed it as well.
Bye.
Bye, guys.